Hi there, Ed Bates again from Kilworth Chiropractic Clinic, and welcome to another video. So in last week's video, I started explaining about our minds, i.e. our conscious and our subconscious mind, and how the suggestions and ideas that we accept form the concepts that rule our lives. Now, this may come as a surprise, but believe it or not, the majority, if not all of our concepts, our ideas and our beliefs are made between birth and up to the age of 7. And the reason for this is because between the ages of 0 and 7, our subconscious mind is totally open. The trapdoor is totally open, it stays open. So up to the age of 7, we are living purely in our subconscious minds, which means that a child cannot reject any thought that comes in. They are open to every thought and every suggestion that is put to them. As a result, every thought, whether it's true or it's not, that comes in stays in. And this thought becomes the child's truth. In other words, things that we're told as a child become deeply embedded in our subconscious mind. And when these thoughts and ideas are concentrated on, they become concepts that control our emotions and subsequent actions in later life. So to illustrate this, I want to just use a simple example, and this is something that's pretty common. So let's just take, for sake of argument, a daughter. Now, when this daughter was growing up, her loving and caring mother repeatedly told her that if she went out without a coat on and got wet, she would catch a cold. Now, as a child, she obviously accepted this, and this idea that getting wet would cause a cold became embedded deep in her subconscious mind. Anyway, let's fast forward 25 years, and one day this girl, now a woman or now an adult, was in such a rush that she forgot her coat, and lo and behold, it was raining. And what happened? She got slightly damp. So what do you think happened? Well, the concept that this woman had in her subconscious mind was that, getting damp meant catching a cold. This was the thought, this was the idea, this was the suggestion that had been impressed upon her throughout her childhood. And that's exactly what happened. She caught a cold. Yet, when you think about it, that action was purely based on someone else's belief and opinion. It wasn't a fact. It was only an opinion. It was a suggestion. Yet this opinion created a concept that caused the girl's cold. In other words, the daughter just accepted this as a truth and went through her life with this same limited vantage point and grew up without seeing things as they truly were. And our lives are replete with examples. And this, believe it or not, is what's wrong and the problem with medicine's obsession with labels and diagnoses. What's a diagnosis? Well, it's just someone's opinion. It's a suggestion. And that's why people go from specialist to seek and get second and third opinions. But when they are given a label and they choose to accept it, they go home, they talk about it, they discuss it, they Google it, they think about it, they worry about it, and so on and so forth. And what happens? Well, these ideas become impressed on the subconscious, and ultimately, the cells in the body react and vibrate accordingly. In other words, they then develop the problem. And yet, according to the former Surgeon General of the American Medical Association, over 70% of diagnoses are incorrect. In other words, the labels in 7 out of 10 people are incorrect. They are just guesses, if you like, but these labels, unfortunately, are actually contributing to and actually causing the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to ignore your problems. No, because that would be stupid. But first and foremost, you've got to realize what's going on, and rather than just alleviating or masking the symptoms, address the real cause and focus on the steps you need to take to regain your health. To get rid of darkness, you don't focus on the dark, you switch on the light. To get healthier, you'd focus on health, not disease. So in closing, realize that your concepts have control over everything in your lives. You become what you think about. If you focus on heart disease, you will develop heart disease. If you focus on cancer, you will develop cancer. But if you focus on health, you will become healthy. So as a result, I would suggest you become very, very familiar with our stick man, because you need to study this drawing, and every time you think of yourself, see the drawing. Realize that maybe what you're thinking is merely the result of a belief from some event from years ago that may not even be true. In other words, by realizing that it's your paradigm or your belief that has conditioned your response, it will help you understand your actions. I hope that was of interest and of use, and I'll speak to you very soon. Have a great, great week. Take care.